bones. And let's go ahead and take a look at some repaint work that I have done on the Wally West Flash figure from McFarlane's DC Multiverse collection. Now, as always, I do get inspiration for these from statues or images that I find online. And then I look at the figure and I just see like the lines, the difference in the sculpt work, the different textures, and I kind of get an idea of what I want to go with. I always usually don't start off with any real plan, but then I go ahead and feel it out, and this is what I have come up with. Now, the reason that I did this one is because I saw that he did have like some different kind of sculpted out line parts of his suit, and then a more smoother finish on different parts, and a little bit of like accent lines that you could see that were not painted, but it just gave me that feeling where I wanted to hit it with some paint. Also, I did a couple of mods, but let's go ahead and take a look at them. Now, the really only big difference of this is that I saw the two-tone of the sculpt work on the suit, and usually Wally West Flash has a little bit of a deeper red and also a more brownish red, like a darker red. And going with what I had to work with, I just went ahead and went a little bit of freestyle on this one, but I think it came out pretty nice. So let's go ahead and take a look at the head, of course, first. Now, the first time we looked at this figure, he could not look up too far at all, probably about to here. And now that I have modded out the neck, he is able to look pretty far up. That way, if you get him in some running poses, he's able to, look ahead, and gives you a little bit more dexterity in the articulation of the head. So that came out really nice. Another thing I did on the head before we move on is his hair was like just completely brown. There was no other colors in there. So I actually went in and wanted to make it more of a throwback to his bright orange hair that they usually show. So I did add some streaks of orange in there just to give it a little bit of highlights and make it pop a little bit more, like right at the tip of the curls and stuff. It actually came out pretty nice. Now, on the camera it looks a certain way, but in hand it looks really nice. You could see the wash that I put in there, like in between the strands of hair. So I'm really happy with that. Now, moving down, let's take a look at the emblem. Now, I did get inspiration for this from different images online where they showed that his chest emblem was actually like pure silver, but a lot of the times he has like brown in there. But I like the pure silver look, so I went ahead and dabbed in the crevices right behind the emblem and made it all silver. Another thing I did that I'll just point this out right away is that all the silver parts at the very end, I hit it with a chrome paint, which is like a shiny chrome paint. It's like the highest chrome I could find. So it has like a little mirrored effect almost. But I did hit the chest emblem, all the silver around the boots, the wrists, the belt line, and then even the wingtips on his head, I also hit with that chrome paint. So all those parts actually pop out a little bit more. They're a little bit brighter. Really happy with the way that came out. Looks definitely really nice. Now, as I said before, there are some like textured lines on some parts of the body. And this was also in the original Barry Allen Flash, but that one I just never felt like it really needed a repaint or anything. But this one, for some reason, I just really felt like it was to his advantage to get a little bit of more paint on there. He has like some parts on over his collarbone and down the arms that just really called for that paint, and it looks really good. Now, surprisingly, one of the paints that I use, it would not stick. It just would not grab onto the plastic. So I ended up using an enamel red, which actually grabbed on really good, but it's like a little bit tacky. So once I was done with it all, I went ahead and let it dry, and then it still had like a tackiness to it. So then I used, of course, the sealer, the matte sealer, to like tone down the glossiness of it, but still protect it from when you know, touch it and manipulate it. That way you don't lose really any articulation, like in the waist. It doesn't grind the paint, but you could still move it around, even in the bicep swivel, you know, on the arms and stuff like that. It really protects it and helps from any paint rub there. Now, another detail I do want to point out is you could see these like ridges throughout the suit that were like around the parts that were like sculpted in that little ridge pattern. And it was just calling for some silver to like kind of contain that different red paint and separate it from the more like maroon color. So all throughout his suit, wherever those lines were, I did get in there with a little fine brush and hit it with some really high silver, and it just really looks great. It just makes a separation between the colors and gives his suit some contrast. Now you move down to the boots, it had like some lines down at the lower part, but I didn't really want to do them, but I went ahead and did them because they were like easily accessible. They were easy to hit with the paint. But once I saw that the gloves didn't really have anything to match to give it, you know, some good balance, I just left the boots, you know, plain the way they were. It just felt a lot better. But even moving up to the back, when you pose him and stuff, he has some cool lines of that silver just marking the outline of that different kind of little parts of his suit, and it just looks really awesome. So all in all, I'm really happy with this. I'm actually tempted to like give this one away on the channel just for fun and then go at it again and do another one. I'm not sure yet, because every time I do a giveaway, like, people don't really care. So that's just a thought that I had, because I'm really happy with it. I mean, this would be a nice part of anybody's collection, and really pleased with the results. I mean, you could put him in cool poses and he just looks awesome. You could make him look up more or to the side. This has really turned out to be a beautiful, beautiful figure. I've been messing with him and I can't stop, you know, posing him and you know, comparing them to other figures. Speaking of, let's go ahead and bring out my repainted Godspeed that I actually hit with a higher yellow gold. Gives him more presence, and he just pops a lot more than that brass dull color that he came with. And then also, I will be repainting this guy. I just have never gotten to it ever since I've had him, probably more than a year. But I did switch out the hands for some cooler hands, and I've always wanted to repaint this one, so I will be looking into like some statues and different, you know, comic art. And this is, of course, one of the like overlooked figures. I think a lot of people don't really enjoy him, but I actually do. And I think once I do the repaint and do the mods to give him like more articulation, because of course this was released at the beginning of the line from McFarlane, so I think that will add a lot more desirability to him, and that is Red Death from the Dark Knight's Metal. So anyways, guys, I'll be working on this guy. I have one more speedster to do, and that will be the TV Flash, and I will be modifying him to make him a little bit more pleasing the way we would like him to be. But you guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.
They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.